I do look forward to rest days a lot.
I hear you.
You know,
so,
how's your? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, how's your running going? All that good stuff.
It's going really, really well. It's my daughter was sick for a week, as you know, and then during spring break last week here, I went down and literally we're at the beach with other families, and everybody's enjoying the beach and the sand, and I'm laid up in our room watching HD TV and Netflix. So so I really didn't get to enjoy the beach, but I got my downtime, or my body recovered and everything from the 2 marathons within 2 weeks and the ultras and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm getting to ramp up for my next double marathon. It's going to be from the finish line to the start line and back to the finish line here in May.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just a little getting mentally prepared for that. It's not more of a physical thing for me. It's more of a mental thing, which I know a lot of folks are doing that as well. It's like, I don't know if I could do this 5K, but we are there, like we said before, we're there to support them, encourage them, and be at that finish line when they come in.
It's what and the support means everything to people out there. People like me who are racing, who just, we're doing it, and I know I fight for every single step. So for people like me, having a group of supporters out there, having people, whether it's from Heifer Run or just other runners out there holding signs, and even the people giving the water and the Gatorade, amazing support. It's such a blessing to receive it, to give it. It's great, just great.
Now, we just put out on Twitter that we're live and everything like that, and I know you have millions and millions of followers on Twitter, and you're part of so many different groups. So how do you turn that into your children? Because we're both parents. We have so many parents who are out there, and they're trying to figure out how can they get this workout in that they need to do to get ready for life, to get ready for their event coming up. How do you balance being a parent, being a person that is so involved in our sport? How do you balance all that? How do you say, okay, I've got husband time, I've got kids time, oh, by the way, I've got house time, I've got me time? How do you do that?
Yeah, it can be a little bit challenging. The first thing is I'm extremely rigid in terms of my schedule. I can be fluid when I have to be, but for the most part, every day I'm up early to get it done, because we have to do it. It's that philosophy of what you can when you can. So I have to do it before I have 4 kids. Before I take them to school in the morning, I go and get my workout done. I come home and shower right when they're waking up. I can still spend that time with them in the morning and then take them to school. During the day, I'm off doing, heifer relations or things, just different errands and things like that. Once they come home from school, we talk about their day. Sometimes, for instance, tonight, one of them has soccer practice way past my bedtime. It's at 8 o'clock.
Past my bedtime.
And so what I might do actually is I might take that opportunity to walk around the track and get some extra exercise with the other kids while he's playing soccer, because we do what we can when we can. So if the day progressed and all of a sudden I didn't get to do as much as I'd like to for my fitness, maybe I'll do calf raises while I'm cooking dinner. Maybe I'll stop and do a 3-minute wall sit while I'm waiting for the microwave. Maybe I'll come outside and run with the dogs for a mile. Anything we can to get it done. People with young children, I always tell them, plop your kid in one of those exercisers if you have to. Let them watch you. Put them in the dolly jumper in the doorway. Let them watch you exercise. They learn from an early age that this is a priority, and they turn it into something for their lifestyle too. So children learn what they live, right? So when they see the parents do it, they figure out, oh, it must be important. I should do this too. So we make fitness a family event. We'll go out on the weekends and we'll bike together. We'll take walks together. Our vacations are very active physically. We do hiking and all kinds of fun things. We see the cities by walking them. We don't necessarily take the train or the bus everywhere we go. So we try and show our kids that, we get that fitness in whenever we can, even if it's, calf raises while you're boiling pasta. You got to do what you got to do.
You just didn't say calf races while you're doing pasta, are you?
Absolutely. Don't quote me on that.
I've actually done planks while I'm browning turkey meat. It's one of those things like,
exactly.
I'm making breakfast for the kids before they go to school, and hey, the bacon's going to take a minute, so let me get down and do a minute plank right now to get this done, because, like you said, you've got to fit in those workouts when you can, where you can.
Exactly. And like you said, you have a minute for your meat to be running, get down there, hit the floor, do a plank, do a wall sit. Especially when you've got that microwave on and you've got a timer going, you know exactly what you can do in that amount of time. And we make it into a competition too. How many sit-ups can you guys do in the next 2 minutes? Make it fun for the kids too, and they see like, oh, exercise doesn't have to be something that everybody dreads and grumbles about, that we only do between January 1st and 23rd of every year. Exercise is something that we have to do all the time. And in talking with just my peer group, we always say, summer bodies are built during the winter. So when everybody else is sleeping in and hibernating and eating stew, we're still out there working our tails off, so that by the time summer comes, we're ready. We feel confident. We look better. We feel better. We feel stronger and healthier. And I think really that's where this country is headed in terms of strong is the new skinny. And wow, that's a powerful message to give our children. We don't want to look like these magazine models. We want to be strong. If somebody said to me, wow, you look like Serena Williams, hot damn, that'd be the best compliment ever, Strong is amazing, and that's what we're striving for.
I wish I could play like Serena Williams.
Yeah, me too. I'd settle for looking like her, but you know what? She's solid muscle. I mean, this is what we're striving for, especially for my family, teaching, especially my girls, teaching them, because this mindset is very rampant in the junior high and high school stage, where these kids still want to be so skinny, and they want to, they want to look a certain way like all these girls in the magazines. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to tell them, no, that's not okay.
Right.
It's better to be strong, and being strong is amazing. It's there's no better feeling.
Now, you've done so much, and we've had previous shows, folks, that you can go back on ISpeakForYou.net in our TV podcast page and look back at the old episodes. But you've done so much. What's next? I mean, are you because it's almost April and the summer's coming? What's next? What's the big project that you have in plans that maybe no one knows about right now?
Well, they're very secret. So what I'm working on right now is really growing Run Heifer Run in terms of the worldwide movement. What we're doing is we're going to be putting some plans in place to offer more valuable resources to all of the members of the herd. And I'm working with a group of people right now to kind of identify what people need. We just did that survey we talked about last time, and people responded overwhelmingly what they need, what they want, what they're enjoying about the community. So we're working to provide more of all of those things so that people can come to us as a one-stop shopping, if you will, in terms of, I need to learn about this, I need to talk about this, I need support on this. So we're really working to bring that to the masses. For me personally, I'm looking into some speaking engagements at different races across the country, and like I said, I'm getting together the race calendar for the next calendar year in terms of where we're going to be, and we're going to be working to get groups of heifers in different cities and all those types of things, so that we can get more people involved and we can help empower more people by letting them understand that they matter, they belong, and we want to encourage them. And people really, in the survey, they responded that they felt the need to encourage other people. Well, how great is that, especially in this time right now where the world, so many things are happening that aren't so great. We found this amazing group of people that want to help other people. It's so uplifting, and when you read the support that they provide, we have a Facebook group, and just literally we read the support that people provide to each other every day. It's incredible. We were able to develop a creed based on the survey of what's important to everybody, and we were able to send that out to many of the heifers, and so many people responded back, wow, I really needed this message today. It was so meaningful to me and valuable. So the fact that people can feel like they belong and that they matter is huge, because we're helping them to empower themselves. And by doing that, they can help others. And that's that ripple effect that is just, there's nothing better. It's heartwarming when you see it happen. You just sit back and say, wow, I'm just blessed to be a part of something this big and this powerful and this good. It's a great feeling.
It's just amazing. And your enthusiasm for, the sport, not only the sport, but obviously your enthusiasm for, the folks that are out there, striving to move forward is just contagious. It's awesome. It's awesome, and I applaud you in your efforts. I had someone just text me and said smile. So it was one of those. I have the webcam on, but I'm obviously showing you on the screen, and I'm also doing this on Spreaker.com. So we're doing a podcast and a web show at the same time. doing some new technology stuff I have. But my thing was, I think he was saying smile because he wanted me to bring it up that I announced a race recently, and back of the Packers were coming in, my kind of people, and and
this is my herd.
Yeah, that's right. All right, the herd coming in, as I like to say. And this lady came through the finish line. I was like, "Hey, smile! Come on, it's over. You did a great job, and at least you're not going up any more hills, kind of thing." And she sent the race director an email saying, "Don't tell people to smile at the finish line. It's not nice." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I took offense to that. So I know you saw my Facebook post, but I really took offense to it. I was like, "Really? You don't like enthusiasm? You don't like someone supporting you and helping you and just being there for you?" I said, I just couldn't fathom that. I couldn't fathom that as a runner, as a dad, as an athlete, as a person, to not have that support and have someone cheering you in. I don't understand someone saying that.
For races so that people can feel the support. I recently did that 10K in the Phoenix Marathon. I did the 10K with some friends, and I think we talked about it. My friend was injured, and we ended up walking the way in. Well, if it hadn't been for that crowd support, she would have been in tears. But people, they saw that she was injured and that she was being held up on the left and on the right side, and people were cheering. And what a powerful message to say. You know what? You lapped every person on the couch, and you didn't quit, even though you're in pain. You crossed that finish line. So, I'm a big proponent for cheerleaders and support. Well, that makes me sad that somebody would email that. But you know what? That maybe they just need more of our love. People who tend to lash out like that, I think they need a little bit more grace than average. So, that's one of those where you just shake your head and say, you know what? It's okay. We love you too.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
I was like, okay, I'm not doing any enthusiasm at races. This could be the non-enthusiastic, non-cheerleading race. Come on through the finish.
The numbers.
Yeah.
There's number 12 from Akron.
Here's number 12.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's number 12. Here's number 13.
Well,
great job.
Announce my finish. You could tell me to smile. You could scream and shout. You could tell me run faster. You could tell me all that. It really, having that crowd support, it really propels you forward to finish strong and finish happy. My God, who wouldn't smile when you're done a race? I do.
Because you're done. Yeah. You don't have to run
exactly.
anymore. You're done.
I'm looking for that banana, to be fair. We this race we did this past weekend, it was cookies and milk, and they had so many cookies and milk. But you know what? I discovered I can't eat that right after a race, so I was still in search of a bottle of water and a half a banana. It's all I could handle.
Don't put any cookies on the stage at races. I'll eat them. I'll tell you that right now. But it's just great. Like you're talking about the veggie post you put out about pizza and everything. You have to, and we talked about it in a previous show, folks. You have to eat proportional. If you're in Texas and you order a plate of food, it's going to come out probably hanging over the sides of the plate kind of thing. And I know you have places like that in Arizona as well, but it's also, you need to eat proportional. You need to know, okay, yeah, the salad is a healthy kind of thing, but what's the dressing on there? How much other stuff is put in there that is going to add more calories to your meal? So you really need to watch what you're eating. And Michelle has got a great blog, obviously, or Melissa has got a great blog about it. How do you do that? When you go out with your kids, do you tell your kids, okay, only a half a slice of pizza, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I did. And I'll send you the link to it later. I did write a great blog post about eating healthy when you're eating out. What we do is, you were talking about going to McDonald's and your kids wanted McNuggets. We had a wonderful woman actually join the herd yesterday. She works at McDonald's, and she said, I struggle. And here's what I tell people. You can still find something acceptable at McDonald's. Now, it's not the best and it's not the greatest, but it will do. They have salad with chicken. So you know what? You don't have to order a Big Mac and a large fry and a Diet Coke every time you drive through, or McNuggets. What you can do at a restaurant, you're right, with the salads, oftentimes they're going to hide some blue cheese crumbles. They're going to hide those fried tortilla strips on top, and they're going to cover it in creamy cilantro dressing and bacon and all that stuff that makes it good. Here's what I do. I take all that stuff off. So I get a salad. If I need something to dress it up, I will either ask for a lemon wedge, and I will just squeeze some lemon juice on it because that gives it a great taste, but without all that added fat. If you have to eat a salad with, say, you love ranch dressing, dip your fork on it, get it on the side, and just dip your fork in it. That way you're not eating, a quarter cup of ranch dressing with your salad. Leave off the bacon if you have to. Leave off the eggs sometimes. If you're looking for more protein, I say, okay, keep that on there. But Leave off the fried tortilla strips that oftentimes accompany that. Leave the garlic bread that they usually bring on the side as well. My family loves to eat at Red Robin. And, that's a challenge because as a culture, we're struggling. We have unlimited fries. The minute you walk in, you can have as many baskets of French fries. And my kids look at that and they're like, whoa. So, I allow them a little bit. I don't make bad food taboo because it's not bad food. It's just bad choices. So my children love their mac and cheese. So instead of getting French fries on the side, I'll have them get steamed broccoli or get a salad with ranch on the side. One of the things that I like to do also is just get barbecue sauce instead of ranch, and I'll do the same thing. I'll dip my fork in it, and that way it's got a little bit of the taste but none of the guilt. So there's so many different things you can do. When you're ordering chicken, make sure it's not smothered in a creamy sauce like Alfredo. It tastes great, but you're going to regret it the minute you're done, and it's not going to help you work out in the morning. You're going to leave there feeling, full and bloated and heavy and just kind of, that's a lot of fat that you don't necessarily need. Instead of ordering the rice or the French fries, get it with extra steamed vegetables. We go to, there's a place called Brio, and it's similar to the Macaroni Grill, which is all across the country. And I get a grilled chicken breast with a side of steamed asparagus every time. And it's lovely. It tastes great. And I don't feel guilty eating, something drenched in creamy sauce, even though it tastes better at the time. But I know that I'm paying rent on my own health every meal I eat, everywhere we go. So my children, they know to make better choices. Kids meals, I took them to Chipotle. One of them had chicken with pico de gallo and some beans. So she left off the rice, the tortilla, this and that. There's ways to make things healthy if you just stop and kind of break it down and look and see exactly what you're getting. Oftentimes with just a couple little modifications, you can do great. And I also tell people when they go out to restaurants, if you're a big drinker, if you enjoy that, that cocktail here and there, just alternate one and then get a glass of water, an iced tea. That way you're not drinking 6 in a row. You're drinking one every other drink. Things like that can really make a difference too. It's just little ways we can change with still enjoying our lifestyle, because I don't believe in cutting things out completely. I think everything in moderation. But does any person need 6 baskets of fries from Red Robin? No.
Yeah. Yeah. The campfire sauce is what gets you. I mean, come on now. You can't go to Red Robin and eat the fries without getting campfire sauce. We learned how to make campfire sauce here at the house. We literally figured it out, and we're like, every time we're barbecuing or something like that, campfire sauce is being made, and Shelby, my little 8-year-old, knows how to make it. So she even tells me, I'm making it. I'll go, okay, go make it. So, but it's one of those, like you said, you gotta watch what you eat. Like when I started the recent journey, as I like to call it, when I started this back coming off Thanksgiving, I knew at Thanksgiving just gorge myself because I knew I was going to start this thing. So when I started the recent journey, I've lost 42.5 pounds as of this morning. And,
congratulations. Wow.
Well, thanks. And the majority of it was I took sodas out. No more Cokes, Dr. Peppers, that kind of thing. Maybe one a week occasionally. I'll sneak in, but even then, after I drink it, I find that my body, and please tell me if you've seen this or you've done this as well, or anybody in the herd, my body likes to reject it. It's like, no, that is it. I feel lethargic. I feel tired. I feel like I just want to lay down and take a nap. I mean, I notice it immediately after drinking a soda or a Coke, Pepsi, whatever. Because I drink so much water. I drink 150 ounces of water a day. So when I drink a soda, it's like, that's not good for your system.
Yeah, your body gets used to good things, and gosh, that much water is great for you. It's great for so many different parts of our body, our skin, our organs, everything. And so all of a sudden, then you put these toxic chemicals back into it. And look, I'm guilty of enjoying a Diet Coke more often than I would like to admit. But when you stop drinking it and you start getting healthy, and then you go back to it, our bodies they tend to rebel a little bit and say, wait, stop, what's going on here? I can give you a good example. I used to be shamefully addicted to Mountain Dew Code Red. There was something about this that I would wake up in the morning, and the way people drink coffee, I would crack open 3 cans of this Mountain Dew. And one day I woke up and I thought, what? I just don't like it anymore. And that was it. Stopped drinking it. Just didn't mean to. It just happened that way. And then I thought about a year later, let me try one and see if I still like it. It just made me sick. It just drinking it just, I felt, like you said, lethargic. I felt bloated, kind of jittery, and it's just, your body gets used to being treated properly, and then when you start to abuse it again, it looks at you like, what? To give you a great example, I wanted to do an experiment with my children. We don't frequent McDonald's either. And, occasionally we got a drive-through, and I will get them, a grilled chicken sandwich or something that could be worse. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to get them all a Big Mac and sit down at the table, and they've never heard of a Big Mac. They didn't know what it was. I sat them down at the kitchen table. I said, all right, guys, I got you this McDonald's. I want you to eat it. And just the look on their faces, they open this container, and they're like, what is this? It was priceless. All the sauce and they didn't know what to make of it. 4 out of 4 didn't even like it. They were like, Mom, we don't want to eat this. One of them scraped everything off and ate the meat patty, and it was pretty funny.
That's my favorite burger besides the Bonsai burger at Red Robin is the Whopper. I mean, this is one of those things, and but it's just crazy. Like, I got a friend of mine, Stephanie. We're on, like I said, we've got the webcast going on, then we have Spreaker going on at the same time, our podcast. And on the podcast side, Stephanie, a good friend of mine, she did a half, or she's doing a 13.1 that she's getting ready for, and she said she's had no sodas for 5 weeks. So that's huge. I mean, congratulations, Stephanie, on all you're doing. And I even told her, I go, hey, we need to get a run walk-in together. And she's just like, I'm not fast as you, but believe me, I'm a slow guy. If I go under 11-minute miles, I'm going too fast. And I know a lot of folks are like, oh my God, that's slow, but the running that I'm doing and the training and the time that I'm out there, 11 minutes is plenty fast for me.
Well, and you know what, I was talking about this yesterday with one of the guys in the Facebook group on Run Have to Run. We were talking about pace, and slow to you is fast to me. Everybody's pace is so personal, and some people don't like to share their pace. And some people, and I do run walk, and I'm proud that I do run walk, because quite frankly, I'm just glad I'm out there doing it at all. I'm so grateful to my body that, that even though I've used it for so many years, that it's still allowing me this grace to be able to exercise at all. And, so 11 minutes is great for you. And that, at the end of the day, you have to run your race. You can't run anybody else's race. I would be thrilled with an 11-minute mile. I'm still slow. But I met a woman the other day who ran a 15-minute mile, and she was so embarrassed. And I looked at her and I thought, you're out there, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it, right?
That's
so
right.
Why are you embarrassed? You should be so proud that you're out there, because everybody's pace is personal, and what works for you doesn't work for the next guy. And it's as personal as running shoes, it's as personal as, Saucony to Nike to Adidas to Brooks. It's so personal. So, I say, hey, if you do the pace that sustains you and gets you to the finish line with a smile, then you're okay.
Yeah, I had a speed demon, I call him, the other day. He runs 425 mile. And he came by my house, and he was he was out running, so he runs by. He's like, "Come on, let's go for a run." I'm like, "I just did 10. I'm not going to go again, And plus, by the way, I need to ride my bike if I'm going to go with you, because you're so fast. And because he knows that he runs a lot faster, but he also knows that I'm out there for a lot more time, that kind of thing. And 70 says she's doing 17, 18-minute miles, which is awesome. I think I did Austin Marathon a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago. And I think I finished up at 17 45-minute miles at the finish, because it was just so hilly and I was tired, for one. But like you said, pace is a personal thing. It's like, what do you want on your pizza? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's how you do to get through that race, to get through that event, to get you to that finish line. And then obviously your friends and family, have got you there as well. And they're going to be just as proud of you. It doesn't matter if you do a 5-minute mile, or, that poster that says, it doesn't matter if you do a 5-minute mile or a 25-minute mile. A mile is a mile.
Exactly. And, I was guilty of beating myself up. I went online, you might have seen it, and said, I had a really bad running day the other day. I ran 8 miles last week, and it went beautifully. I'm fighting back that heel injury, and everything was great. No aches, no pains. And then the next 2 runs were just awful. It was Tuesday, we got almost 3 miles, and I just looked at I just can't do this. My body is telling me that it's made for the couch and for Oprah and bonbons. My body said no bonbons. Like, okay, cut it off. And so I cut it off, and I was really, really disappointed that, I had a really bad run, and I had to take the advice that I give to so many other people, and my friends all gave it back to me, which is the best part about being in the herd, people are like, wait a minute, that's crap. No run is bad because you were out there doing it, and every run is going to be different, but the fact is you're out there doing it, and it's the same with the pace. It just, I won't say it doesn't matter because some people, want to work on a faster pace, and I say, hey, that's great. I'm working on that as well, but just the fact that we're all out there doing it, it's just, it's amazing. And I think the youth of today really needs to see that example. And, hopefully we're headed in the right direction, just in terms of all the programs we've got in schools and gyms, just where children are able to see the value in physical fitness and not having to regain their health when they enter middle age. It's so much easier to just maintain that health as you get older,
That's so true. That is so true.
So,
do you have a race this weekend that you're doing?
Let's see. This weekend I'm not racing. This weekend I'm going to do some brick workouts. I am gearing up, and I'm looking at my career-ending triathlon, which I'll start training for shortly. So I'm going to do some brick work this weekend and see how bad I can abuse my legs. It's going to be great.
How bad legs do you want to hurt this weekend? That's what I'd like to know. I got a 10-mile run on Saturday morning. I have this very rare no races to announce this weekend. I planned it that way because next couple weeks are really busy for me. I got a 10-mile run on Saturday morning and a 15-mile run on Sunday morning.
Wow.
I say run loosely. But it's just one of those things like, you get the run in, like you said, you run early in the morning. That way you can have family time, take care of the kids, and your amazing husband and all that. But on weekends, does your schedule change at all? I mean, do you still have the same routine?
In the summer, it's difficult because we still have to run before the sun comes up because it is, especially living in Arizona, the temperatures here exceed 120 degrees during the day, and even at night, some people prefer to run when the sun goes down. The problem is the heat of the day is still on us by 8, 9 p.m. So, and again, it's past by bedtime anyway. So it's easier. The coolest hour of the day seems to be between 4 and 6 a.m. So that's
right.
Really when I still have to run. So during the weekends, I can give myself an extra hour or two of sleep, but still have to be done before the sun comes up. That 8-mile run we did, we finished just by 8 a.m. and the sun was so high and it was just beating down on us. And here, I don't know why Phoenix feels so much hotter than, I lived in Cincinnati and St. Louis, Philadelphia, Detroit. The sun feels hotter here when it's up and it's just on you. There's no clouds. And so even this race last weekend started at 8 a.m., which I thought was a little too late for a Phoenix race
Wow.
to start in the spring. By the time we started, we were all sweating to death. So, the weekends don't allow for sleeping in so much, but maybe an hour or two extra. And, look, I'll take what I can get, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and South Texas is the same way. We're not at 120, but we did do a significant amount of days over 110 at one point. And there's a lot of people that are getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get a workout in before the heat comes up, or they're running, let's say in Phoenix, they're running late at night to get out there and just to get it in, because we also know that when the fall comes, the races are here, so you have to train during that heat to do that. Luckily, my amazing coach, Christian Williams of Williams Race Academy, gave me a treadmill for my office, which is right behind my desk actually, and it's not collecting dust because we're getting use on it, because we're just shaking it out and having fun on it first because it's a new toy for us, but also because it is starting to warm up outside, and we've got bad humidity here, so it's one of those things you've still got to get it done.
Yeah, and your body performs differently too, especially in the beginning of a weather change. It takes a couple of weeks to get acclimated to the new weather. So I wrote an article about this as well, just about making sure you're hydrated properly
right.
as your body adjusts to the different weather changes. Because, used to be, and during the wintertime, I could go 5 miles without carrying water. But in the summer, you need it, even for a mile, you have got to stay hydrated, especially, at least you guys have the humidity. Here in Phoenix, we sometimes get 3% humidity,
wow.
so it's extremely hot, and it can be very dangerous. We hear, I don't know, it seems like it's always the Canadians, I'm not sure why, but we hear of these Canadians climbing our mountains, and then God forbid, a lot of them pass away because they don't think that they're going to either get disoriented, get dehydrated, they don't bring enough water, and it's so scary. So it's one of these things where we have to just change the whole mindset. We have to go ahead of ourselves and put frozen water bottles so that by the time we reach, mile 7, it's nice and hot, here. But, it's thawed out and ready to drink, and you have to plan ahead, and sometimes it takes a little extra time, but, safety, it's always safety first. It has to be, and staying hydrated is number one.
It's got to be. You've got to, and if you have a big run coming up, you need to, obviously, as Melissa's saying, you need to be hydrated before the race comes up, or before the run comes up. I know my training runs this weekend, I do 150 ounces, and people are trying to figure that out. So you figure Yeti is 25 ounces. I'm doing like 7 of those things, and drinking them every day. So my body is constantly flushing out the bad stuff, and it's also hydrating. So I know on my runs on this weekend, I'll be hydrated for the start of it, but in order to get to the finish of them, I got to keep hydrated. So you make sure, folks, you get your electrolytes in. Melissa will tell you, like she said, I wrote a great blog about it on runheiferrun.com. Stephanie, who's listening to us, she's got a 5K at OLLU, which is Our Lady of Lake University here in San Antonio. It's a confetti 5K on 1 April. And then she's doing the HEB Alma Run Fest 10K on the 2nd, the day after. So she's doing a double. How amazing is that she's doing a 5K on Saturday and then backing it up with a 10K on Sunday?
Good for her. That's goals right there. That's some strong legs too. I can't run every day. I have to take breaks in between, which is why I cross train on off days. I can't run back to back days. It kills my knees. But good for her, and that's exciting too. And I'm sure she's hydrating properly as well.
Yeah, Stephanie's one of those great folks, and I think she's going to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stephanie. Text me or shoot me a message on the chat now. I think she's going to do the BCS Marathon in December. It's the second week of December here in College Station, Texas, which is home of Texas A&M University. It's just a great course. It's flat. It's a Boston qualifier. And if you saw my post on Facebook here about an hour ago, we all know it's hard to get into Boston. We know that, so like myself, I know I'll never get into Boston. I'll never have that qualifying time. I'm just not that person. You know what I mean? Like my body cannot go that fast. I mean, I know there's coaches out there listening, or I got coaches that are friends of mine that are like, oh, you need to do this mile. Nah, I'm not gonna run that fast anymore. I'm not 12 years old. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I also know that you shouldn't cheat to get into Boston. And apparently a company, this guy owns a traveling company, and he literally sold entries into Boston. So basically, he knew he could run a Boston qualifying time. So what he did was he went with these folks and had like 3 people, and he carried their numbers, registered them, carried their numbers with their chip on his person somewhere, under his number in a jacket, whatever.
Oh,
and he qualified for Boston. Oh, by the way, he qualified these 3 people as well that he muled for them, carried their numbers. And and I was just like, I cannot fathom that. As me, and I know as you, supporter of people, supporter of the sport and moving forward and everything, I could not fathom running Boston, knowing how prestigious it is, how hard it is to get in, and not doing it the right way. I couldn't do it.
No, shameful, absolutely shameful. You know what? Integrity is everything.
Yeah.
And, wow. Yeah, I don't like to hear about that. Unfortunately, I think it happens all the time. And that's just sad. But that's shameful. Wow. And I hope he's punished accordingly too. I mean, I hope somebody, a judge or something makes an example out of this guy and is disqualified from running many races. That's not right. That's not kosher.
Yeah. And then Stephanie's texting me on chat right now saying that the Bryan College Station, the BCS half marathon will be her first half. So it's going to be an amazing day, and she knows, I announced a lot of races where she's at. She knows that I will not leave that finish line until she comes in or till the last person comes in at the marathon. That's just my thing. I've known announcers that are like, okay, I'm only going to do 5 hours and I'm done. And it's like, no, the race is longer than 5 hours. There's someone going to be out there longer than that. You've really got to support. And this is where Run Heifer Run folks come in. Go to runheiferrun.com. Join the herd, support the herd, and obviously be there for every finisher, because you don't know, as Melissa and I have talked about, you don't know what that person may be going through or been through to get there.
Absolutely. So many amazing stories. And you know, I like to say, you know, at the back of the pack is full of so much grit and blood, sweat, and tears to get there. And that doesn't and shouldn't take away from the front of the pack too, because there's just as much, you know, blood, sweat, and tears to get there as well. They're just different types of stories. And I can just relate more in my own life and my own experiences to the back of the pack, and have taken so much encouragement. You know, like I said to you during one of our conversations, every race I get beat by this 87-year-old ovarian cancer survivor. You know, she just whizzes right by me. The guy with no legs whizzes by me, you know. So much amazing grit, and if you take the time to listen to these people, and everybody wants to share their story and to hear their stories, man, they're inspirational and they're amazing, and sometimes, like you said, I mean, this could be somebody's first race, and what a special time that is too. I mean, everybody remembers their first race and how they felt, and, you know, crossing that finish line and all the work it took to get there. You know, every race is special. So, you know, I applaud you for waiting for the last person to come in, because, man, there's some grit right there. Talk about determination. They could quit. Each one of them could just throw in the towel, but they don't. They keep going, and that is just commendable.
It's awesome. It is awesome. RunHeiferRun.com, folks. You got so many folks joining the herd. Every day it looks like you're putting stuff on Facebook about, oh, congratulations and welcome to the herd, that kind of thing. How large do you think this is going to get?
You know, I'm envisioning thousands upon thousands, really. We're taking it worldwide. We have heifers from Asia to Europe, South America, Canada, Mexico, everywhere. It's so exciting to see people connecting and relating to one another, and connecting on this level that, you know, oh, you're suffering from this, well, so do I, or, you know, just the connections people are making through the program are incredible. So what we're working to do is to provide some programming as well, so that we can start offering more resources. So whether that's going to come by way of kind of a webinar type video, conference calling, local meetups, there's many different things we're thinking about right now, and putting it out there, and kind of working through some ideas to say, you know, well, what would these people like, and what would this person like? We've got a growing mailing list where you'll get updated when we update the blog, and I've got a lot of good content that I'm working on right now in terms of just different articles for resources. You know, like I said, the one I wrote on sleep was a big one. People are constantly tired and thinking, oh, I can just, you know, I'll steal different things that we're just going to put on the table. We're going to be talking about, you know, healthy cooking and how to do it when you have 27 kids and your husband's gone, or you're an army wife, or, you know, so many different things where people struggle. So we're asking right now, what are those struggles, so that we can start talking about them and start providing solutions in different ways and different life tips to get around those, and build a community in the process. And people are receiving this very positively. It's great. And the little keychain, the heifer bell, everybody has been taking pictures and sharing them. We just finished the contest. Voting ended yesterday, and we had a winner. She won. She took her heifer to I forget. I think she was in Wales, and the internet voted, and she won overwhelmingly with her picture. And so all these sponsors are sending her great prizes. I mean, we've got a lot of fun stuff going on. It's just a good time to get in on something that's really starting to snowball, and some big things are coming down the pike. So I'm real excited.
It's so amazing. And of course, you know, it didn't start with "Thank you for calling me fatso," and the people that don't get offended, don't get mad, say, what do you mean? You just called her fatso. No. You have to go back a little bit, but of course, go to runheiferrun.com, look at the blog, obviously read the story. Thank you for calling me fatso. And I literally printed that picture with that saying on there, and I have it on the wall in my office, right next to my treadmill, because in order to get to my front door of my house, you have to walk by my office. So when I walk over, you know, through it, and I see the treadmill sitting there with, you know, thank you for calling me fatso over it, it's like, okay, did you do what you need to do today to not go back? Do not go back in the past. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. So that's very big motivation, and I thank you for that.
Oh, I love hearing that. You know, there's such power in sharing our stories with other people. You know, you were kind enough to share your story with me and everybody else, and there's there's power in that vulnerability, because you find that you make connections with so many more people when you show them, hey, I went through that too. And, bullying is such a problem right now in schools and around the world, really. And it doesn't just happen with children. That's the interesting thing. Bullying happens, I don't know if it's more or less, but bullying happens with adults all the time, especially as they're behind their keyboard on the internet. We see that way too frequently, and that's not okay either. And if more people stood up and said, no, this isn't okay, and if more parents would learn what their children are saying to other children, and that's not okay. My daughter had a situation recently where she was somewhat bullied. It was a little bit of hate speech and some bullying in school. And, she came home, she was very upset about it, and all 4 kids were looking at me. The other 3 were watching to see my reaction. I thought, this is a really big turning point. I could let it go and let her know that it's okay to be a doormat, or I can escalate this just a little bit more. Let's get the principal involved. Let's get this little kid's parents involved, and let's get to the root of this hatred. And that's the route I took. And we were able to do that, and we're having an ongoing community enhancement program that the school has graciously decided to host with my prodding, because this is not okay, and children need to understand that this behavior, it's not okay to witness it and say nothing, and it's not okay to do it.
Right.
And it's also, it has to be okay to stand up for yourself, and that's a really big deal, and that's something in the heiferhood, as we call it. People are learning that they do have value, and it's okay to stand up for yourself and say, no, it's not okay to treat me like that, because oftentimes we get into that pattern where we just allow people, I don't want to say abuse, that's a little bit strong, but we allow people to treat us a certain way when that's not okay, when we should have stood up for ourselves and said, no, that's not all right. And what an empowering feeling to be able to take ownership of, your future and the way people treat you. That's huge, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and Stephanie just put, everybody's shape or size is a beautiful person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And nobody should suffer, rude comments, smears, looks, etc. Nobody needs to suffer at the hand of somebody else for how they look, because every single person, every one of us has value and has a contribution to this world. And so often we're just made to feel lesser than by virtue of how we look. And people will judge you immediately if you show somebody a photo. And they will judge you immediately, knowing nothing else other than how you look, and that's not okay. And we're all guilty of it. The stereotypes of very overweight people. We hear it all the time. Lazy, unemployed, this, that, illiterate, blah blah blah. Oftentimes these are so not true, and we can work together to really combat that and help people help themselves in the process. And she's right, absolutely right. Every single person is beautiful and has value. And it's funny because since I've lost these 42 pounds, I had someone at a race recently, and he was like, he was like, "Ram, what have you been doing?" He goes, "I heard your voice," and he didn't even recognize me when he walked up. He was like, "I heard your voice, and I'm looking around for you," and he goes, "I didn't even recognize it was you standing here, next to me." And he goes, "You look great." He goes, and then he just went on with accolades and basically you're doing so awesome, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm the same person. It didn't matter what I weighed or what I looked like. I'm the same person. I said, I just got tired of being the fat announcer, as I called myself, and people look at me like, man, how does he know about running and cycling and doing triathlons? He's so big. Yeah, why'd you hire that guy? Why don't you get the thin guy that announces? Well, the thin guy probably hasn't done as much as I have, not to brag or anything, but also I see people treating me differently, which kind of upsets me a little bit. And I, like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve because I'm the same person. And that, right.
That person that's just starting their journey, they're going to be different in a year, but they're still going to be the same person. They may look different, but they're going to be the same person.
Yeah. And there's a huge evolution that takes place too on the inside. For now, 42 pounds is amazing, and for me, it wasn't enough to quite finish the transformation. So I lost about 110, but I'm still the same core person. But I can tell you, so many things about my perspective have changed. And one of the things I learned, unfortunately, was the way people treat it. And I can speak to our country. I don't know around the world, but people treat you differently. Like I was talking about this stereotype. Having lost all the weight, I get treated much more differently now, whether it's by strangers on Facebook or strangers in a restaurant or strangers anywhere, than I did when I was overweight. And on the inside, I'm still the same person, but I can tell you I'm much more confident now. And that shows and that relates to people, so people can more relate to me and say, wow, but you're so outgoing and you talk about your struggles. Well, yes, because I've been there and I've overcome them. I'm still overcoming them every day. Every day I fight to keep this weight off and to keep this fitness. It's not something that comes natural to me by any means, and it's hard some days, and I get tired of having to do it every day. Some days I tell my husband all the time, I hate genetically skinny people. I just get tired of doing it, but there's a transformation that takes place sometimes on the inside. So you're still the same you, but you went from black and white to being in color, and people do respond to you differently, and that's sad because, I watch, especially in younger children, the overweight kids, and they're overweight for whatever reason, who knows, but they don't get picked for the sports teams, kind of like in that article where I was talking about my own experience. And that's sad because they grow up. This is just contributing to their lack of self-esteem, their low self-value, and that's no good either, So if we can all work together to combat those things, and like Stephanie said, to make every person realize that every single one of us has value and has something to contribute to society and is beautiful no matter what. That's a powerful message we can drive home, and if we can get that into the minds of the youth, then our world will be a better place. Truly, I believe that just wholeheartedly.
Amen. I love it.
So.
And I appreciate you calling in. I know you're so busy. I know you.
No, I look forward to my time with you.
You are awesome. I just want to say that. My wife listened to or watched the show that we did last month, and she was like, God, if you two ever get on a stage together to do a talk, she goes, it'll be forever. She goes, you'll just keep going. I said, well, I go, is that a bad thing? She goes, no, because you guys are so motivational, because you can talk about the experiences of what y'all have been through to someone who's sitting there in the crowd going, I don't know if I can do this. And then they realize,
exactly.
Wow, there's other people like me that have done this, that have been there.
Well, and I would, number one, I would love nothing more than that. I'm challenging you to make that happen. I'm gonna email and text Heidi, the race director for Cowtown Marathon Weekend, and say, okay, Heidi, you gotta bring me back up there, and oh, by the way, you gotta bring Melissa in. Oh, that'd be my dream come true. And the other thing too is it's exactly like you're saying in terms of talking to that audience. There is always somebody there. We talk about coincidences. There is always somebody in that space at that right time that needs to hear that message, and whatever that message is, it's going to speak to somebody's heart. And if we can change one person, if we can get one person from the self-doubt, and I got to be honest, every start line I go, gosh, I hope I can finish this thing. There's that self-doubt in all of us, but the thing that makes us so great is that we do it anyway, right? And right. Many people feel confident in their skills, but for me, having come from a lifetime of obesity, I just look at it kind of kamikaze style, like, well, here goes nothing. I hope I can do it. And the fact that I just do it anyway because there's joy in the struggle. That is the whole point, is that there is something to learn going through that struggle that transforms you and shows you that, oh my gosh, if I can do this, what else can I do? Because I spent my whole life thinking I can't do anything. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. And all of a sudden you start checking things off your list like, well, oh, I could do that. That triathlon was a big one for me. I never in a million years thought I could swim, bike, and then run. Are you kidding me? I thought I would die. But I did it, and I lived to tell about it. It wasn't pretty, and I was the second to last one to finish the entire race, but I did it. And if somebody out there could hear that message and say, you know what, gosh, I want to try it, that's all you need to do is have the courage to say, I want to try it, because there's nothing to be lost. Maybe a little dignity, but that's it. I got none left. There's nothing to be lost by putting yourself out there saying, I'm going to try it, because what's the worst that can happen? I finished last. So what? You still finished. That's amazing. That's an accomplishment so many people never had the courage to start. And that's huge. That's huge. If we can get so many more people to believe in themselves, to take that first step, what a better place this world will be. Truly. I believe it.
So true and so amazing. RunHeiferRun.com, folks. I sent the email or the website to Stephanie. She's probably on it right now, sitting at work in her cubicle and everything. But it's just one of those things, like, everybody's got to go to it, check it out. Obviously, join the Facebook, get a hold of you. How do people, if they want to talk to you in person, or they want to talk to you and say, what can I do more for RunHeiferRun.com, how do they get a hold of you?
They can email me, Melissa, at runheiferrun.com. On the website itself, there's a contact button. They can contact me. It'll bring you straight to your email. Send me an email through there. Contact me through Facebook. There's a page. There's a group. Instagram is at runheiferrun. Twitter is a huge one. I've been having so much fun on. I call it the Twitter. Me and the Twitter are friends. So it's at MelissaCon7. So MELISSA KAHN and the number 7. Find me on there. Smoke signals work. I'm everywhere online. So, and I answer my messages. Somebody who entered the contest and had a question emailed in, and I emailed her back, and she said, "Wait, is this actually Melissa?" And I was like, "Yeah, who else would it be?" There's nothing if we can't have personal communication. So I answer all of my emails. I take the phone calls. Because it's important to make those connections, and people struggle. And I receive messages every day, especially on Twitter, from people who are struggling, and they just need a little virtual hug. And that's what we're here for. I encourage them, join the Facebook group, because there's so many people going through just what you're going through. None of us are as unique as we'd like to think we are. And there's always somebody who can relate even just a little bit, who can help pull you up. So that you can in turn help other people when you're feeling a little bit stronger. And again, I just think that's what it's all about. So contact me, however, let me know how I can help get you started on your journey, get you involved in the herd. We have so many good things coming up. It's just such an exciting time for us, truly. I'm telling you, folks. And then obviously go to runheiferrun.com, onto the store, and get your bag or your shirt or whatever you have. Yeah, your heifer wear. The best thing is the keychain, the heifer bell. It's a tiny little keychain. People bring it on their travels, and they bring it to the gym, and it's a stress ball actually, so you can squeeze it. And people seem to love them. We have, if you go on the website and you hold your mouse over about, I think it says Meet Bell, you could see hundreds of photos of people with their I call it their BFF. They take pictures with it, and it's just a fun way to show you're part of the community and that you're involved and that you're keeping in mind and you're remembering, all those things that make you special. And it's a really neat group. I love it. It is amazing, folks. And by the way, thanks for calling me fat. So runheiferrun.com. Melissa, you are amazing. Thank you so much for calling in, and I look forward to talking to you again. I can't wait. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Go drink some water. Run, heifer, run. Yeah. I drank the whole thing while I was here, so I got to go get some more. But again, folks, stay hydrated. Melissa, is there anything else you'd like to tell folks? You know what? I just want to thank everybody for the support we've been receiving, and I would love to add some more members into the herd. Share your stories, and by doing so, you just inspire so many other people. So keep the stories coming in, and feel free to contact me anytime. Let us know how we can help you, encourage you, give you the opportunity to encourage other people and be a part of something a little bit bigger. It's a good feeling. It's awesome. RunHeiferRun.com. Thanks for calling. Hey, thanks, Mark. Have a great day. You too. Take care. Bye-bye. You bye. Such an amazing, amazing person. Stephanie, what are you doing? Stephanie's listening to the broadcast, so about 450 other folks. I'm getting the numbers to me right now. Again, folks, runheiferrun.com. Go to that website, ispeakforyou.net. It's your shows, your topics. If you have something you want to talk about, maybe you're training for your first half like Stephanie is. If you want to talk about your training, talk about anything. There is nothing. She says she's working, of course. Stephanie is. But if you want to talk about anything, we've even talked about how to use a restroom during races or at races or while you're running. It happens. I did a marathon, and I'm not going to say her name or anything, but I did a marathon back in 2003, I was deployed then. 2004 with a young lady. I flew in, did White Rock with her and her group because they were training. And we got to mile 13, and Mother Nature came calling for her, and we had to stop at a Walgreens. It just happens. So we've had that topic brought up as well. So whatever topics you have that maybe you would like to talk about, that's really easy. Just email me, info@ispeakforyou.net, or find me on Twitter at ispeakforyou, or Instagram at Marcus Purnell, or if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, just send me a message and we'll get it out there. By the way, just want to let you know, HEB Alamo Run Fest just texted me. Their kickoff event is 2 o'clock this Saturday at Microsoft over in La Catera. They're going to have goodies, they're going to have giveaways, they're going to have race giveaways, they're going to have race entry giveaways, all kinds of good things for the HEB Alamo Run Fest. It's next weekend, April 1st and 2nd here in San Antonio. The kickoff event is this Saturday, 2 o'clock at Microsoft at La Cantera. So someone just texted me, wait a minute, 2-day event? Yeah, the first, there's an expo going on Saturday and Sunday during the event for HEB Alamo Run Fest. And on Saturday is a kids race. It is kids get their own day. They get their own race. It's pretty cool. And you finish inside the Alamo Dome
on Saturday and on Sunday for the 5K, 10K, and of course the half marathon. For all those folks who are out there training for the HB Alamo Run Fest, I'm so honored and so tickled to be the announcer for that. So I'll be working with Jay Tope. He'll be there. I'll start off the first race, and then Jay will take over and do the 10K and 5K starts. And then I'll be on the finish line at the finish, and of course at the award ceremony. So again, for the HEB Alamo Run Fest, the premier event here in San Antonio. I know some folks maybe did another half marathon this past weekend that finished at the Alamo and all that. Nah, that's not as good as the HEB Alamo Run Fest. So if you have any questions or you want to ask me what races are coming up that I think you should do, I can pretty much do that for you. info@ispeakforyou.net. Again, your shows, your topics, your music. Thanks everybody for listening. And I'm about to go and steam clean my carpets in my house. That's how I get to do it today. But again, be safe out there in your training. If you have someone you're training with, great job. If you need someone to go train with you, again, just email me, info@ispeakforyou.net, or just message me on Facebook, and I'll gladly come out and get some miles in with you. Any miles for me is good miles. And if you want to join me tomorrow morning at McAllister Park at about 8 o'clock, I will be out there doing 10 miles tomorrow. On Saturday morning, I'll be running 10 miles, and then on Sunday, 15 miles. So if you want to come out and join me, you ride your bike or just walk with me, I'll appreciate that. Again, have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. God bless. And again, have an amazing weekend. Take care.
Stereo 88. Otra clase.
That's the old radio station I was on, yeah. So I had to get this old tape from them. They sent this to me, and we'd like to thank everybody for listening, and have a good day.